the 1031 exchange, let's define what it is. It's when you're selling a property that has increased in value. So instead of selling it and cashing out the profit and paying tax on the capital gains, these are for investment properties, you can exchange it. It's called the 1031 exchange because the Internal Revenue Code is 1031, and it's also called the Starker exchange. So you're really swapping properties, not selling. So when you are selling, you tell the escrow, I am not going to cash out my profits and pay taxes. I would like to exchange. I want to roll my profits forward and acquire another property. And the law says you have to acquire another like-kind property of equal or higher value. Now, what's like-kind? Like-kind is okay in all the investment world. If you have land and you want to exchange it, well, sell it, but roll the money forward to acquire an apartment building, or sell an apartment building, acquire just a large house that's going to be a rental, or sell that and acquire a storage facility, all is okay. You can keep doing 1031 exchanges and roll the money forward. Now, there are rules for it. They say you have 45 days to identify up to 3 properties. You have 45 days to identify up to 3 properties, and you have an additional 135 days to close on one of them. And that allows you to roll the money forward. So people, if I'm selling a property, like I was selling a small apartment building, 6 units, and the broker called me and he said, we have a gentleman in a 1031 exchange, and we're running out of time. We have 15 days left to identify the property we're going to roll the money forward to. In other words, they had 45 days. They wasted 30 days being hesitant which property when they sell, they should roll the money forward to. And they have 15 days left. So he said, can we go see your property? They went, they saw it. And they called me and they said, could you discount a little bit and we can close quicker? Of course, I said no, because the guy is stuck with time. His time is running out. And I said, no, if you like the property, you got to close. That's to my asking price. That's what I want. Work to my advantage as a seller. It's a good way for them when they were rolling the money forward to defer the taxes. They don't avoid the tax, they defer it. So let's work the numbers. You bought a property at $700,000. You improved it, and a year later, they usually want you to hold it for a year and a day. Now, if you sell it, you'll have long-term capital gains, and you will pay capital gain taxes. But instead, you can just, when you sell it, let's say at $1 million, you don't pay taxes on the $200,000-300,000 profit. You can defer the taxes, go acquire another property at $1 million or more, and roll the money forward to acquire a property at $1 million, or let's say you acquire one at $1.1 million. You had debt here of $600,000. You have debt on the new one of $600,000 or more. And now you've deferred the taxes, and you can keep doing this every year as you improve the property, defer the taxes. You can start with a $1 million property, end up a few years later with a $10 million asset, and your cost basis, as you acquire property, cost basis increases, but you still have a lot of profit because you're deferring the actual taxes on that gain. When you die, you can pass on the $10 million asset to your loved one at a stepped up in basis. So the next day they can sell it and they don't pay taxes. But you have deferred the taxes and then willed it to family member, to your son, to your daughter, without them paying taxes. Now, how do you benefit? Well, you can refinance at any time, cash out some money to live off of it or to have extra money to do things, etc. That's not taxable because borrowed money is not taxable. Well, what Biden said, Joe Biden, the new president, said, hey, listen, we want to tax everybody and their sister because we actually need to pay for the stimulus money. So we're going to take from those who have, give to those who don't have. Karl Marx, like communist and social direction. Well, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just here to understand and work the business the way that's going to work it out for me and my family and my students and my group that I work with. So they're saying we're going to actually see whoever is wealthy in their definition is making $400,000 in income per year. And those people are not going to allow them to do 1031 exchange. So when you roll the money forward or not roll it forward, we're going to tax you on that gain anyway. You're going to pay 20% taxes. Capital gains. And then they're saying, oh, we may even increase the capital gain taxes. So what is this going to do? It's a proposal right now. It's not finish. But what is it going to do? Because all we're trying to see is predict an outcome. What's the end goal of knowledge? The end goal of knowledge is the ability to accurately predict an outcome. If you can predict something accurately and make money from it, you got the knowledge. I want to listen to you based on what you've done. Well, I've been accurately predicting a few things because I'm constantly in the market trying to get the feedback and see what the tendency is to take a certain direction. So what's going to happen if this is approved, which there is a big likelihood so much crazy stuff gets approved. If this gets approved, whoever is holding a property is going to say, well, I'm not going to sell it and pay taxes. I might as well hold on to it. So they're going to hold on to it. And when they're holding on to commercial properties, there'll be scarcity of supplies. So what is it going to do? Whatever supply comes up is going to be at a higher price because you can get new properties. There is very few properties available. So it's going to be interesting because the actual activities in the commercial real estate will slow down. And people will hold the properties longer, and people will actually end up just improving their own properties, holding on to their own properties, expanding their properties, etc., and maybe adding to the deductions they get every year, etc. So that's going to be a very interesting thing. Also, when people improve properties, they increase their cost basis. You bought a property at $700,000, you improved it for $100,000, you put $100,000 improvement. Now your cost basis goes from $700,000, that was your purchase, to $800,000. So the cost basis, people are going to try to spend more money on their own properties and hold on to them and improve them, etc., instead of working a property quickly and selling it. And all these activities in the real estate creates commissions to brokers, creates fluidity in the market, creates new loans. So it's a whole industry that benefits from the movement. That all that movement is going to slow down. So it's not going to be so good, but it has some benefits for those who are coming in. You may be able to grab something at a price and then improve it. And then there is scarcity of supply. If you want to sell it and you're willing to pay the taxes, well, you may be able to do that and then keep growing, but it's just you're going to grow at a lot lower pace.
Jump into commercial real estate and begin your investment journey with Cherif Medawar. Apply for CRE Mastermind. Click the link in description.